greater need in Akron that I can't see.
I could have eventually, stood up and postured myself in a very prideful way. We kind of lose focus. Sometimes you have to step outside of yourself. And how can we go refocus our attention on how we can serve others in this time?
And so I've just been praying, Lord, how do we see the people that really need the most help? The people that need groceries, the people that need encouragement. And so I thought of Kemp.
If there's a way for us to engage or to be involved, man, we want to do that. And I think that we've been transparent in some of the different events and activities that we've done, not only from the platform of Love Akron, but what we've been able to do now in partnership with other organizations.
Don't do anything else there. Just make sure that you love Akron.
That you love Akron.
Whatever you do today, wherever you go today, just make sure that you love Akron.
And early on, one of the things I said to Coach Kemp was, I'm like, I'm an employee of Love Akron. We're going to do this black and white conversation. Conversation versus collision. I said, Coach, if we're going to do this, and then we're going to get to that point where we're just rocking and singing Kumbaya, I was like, then can I respectfully ask you to count me out? Because one, if this is not a forever challenge or a sign, this is not something that we're going to do forever, I just don't want to do it. I want to do something that's going to truly make impact. So I think it's important for us to make note of the fact that this is a commitment for Love Akron forever.
Good evening. We'd like to welcome everyone to our community event this evening. The partnership between Love Akron and the 100 Black Men Incorporated. We welcome you all. We're going to be celebrating National Mentoring Month today, and we're happy to have all of you here. Mentoring is very important to the 100 Black Men. Mentoring the 100 Way is a cornerstone of our organization. So every year we celebrate National Mentoring Month, and with the COVID, it kind of put a little stop in some of the things we normally do. We usually gather all our kids up and have a great time, but we're going to continue to do that tonight here with Love Akron at our community event. Also, I'd like to reach out to any of the mentoring programs in the community. The 100 Black Men of Akron would love to have you be a partner with our mentoring program. Our goal is to reach out to many of our youth that we can in our community so we can have a huge impact in moving our youth in a positive direction. So once again, we would like for you to partner with us. Now I'd like to introduce my friend and my brother, the executive board of Love Akron, executive director of Love Akron, Coach Boyd.
How you doing, Coach? Good to see you this evening. Man, I feel somewhat inspired because of the inauguration yesterday. We should be addressing you as President Michael Irby because you're the president of 100 Black Men Akron chapter. So, I know we usually go by Coach, but man, I feel very formal tonight that we should be addressing you as President Michael Irby. So, but hey, good evening. Glad to be with you this evening and with all of our Love Nation, as I like to call you, being out there. And I want to give a special thanks and a shout out to the Knight Foundation, who has really encouraged us to keep these discussions and conversations going to bring about a sense of awareness in greater Akron community. So, Coach Irby, man, President Irby, excuse me, I'm just blessed and fortunate to be here with you, partnering alongside of you to bring about these type of encounters for us here in greater Akron and beyond.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Very good. We're happy to be here, the 100 Black Men, and continue our partnership in 2021. We're excited, my brother. There's a lot of things that we feel we agree on that we're going to be bringing to our community to make an impact and also a difference. So it's going to be a great night. What I'd like to do here, I'd like to bring on our moderator for the night. Here's the 100 Black Men's Vice President of Administration, Mr. Lash.
Lash, I believe you're muted, brother.
Good evening, Coach and Coach. It's great to be with you all this evening. Sitting here tonight, inspired after yesterday. I feel like we have a brand new lease, and I'm excited about this conversation and excited to talk to Judge Hamilton and Bishop Johnson. Tonight, we're going to actually talk about just kind of picking back up where we actually left off a few weeks ago, the Love Akron and the 100 Black Men partnership. Connection versus collision. Where do we go from here? As you know, we've had a lot of things going on in our country over the past several months, and we've actually been having this conversation just to benefit the community, bringing some informative conversation that will be empowering and educational. And tonight, we're actually very pleased and honored to have one of Akron's premier young men. And he still is a young man, and that's why we're so proud of him. And that is in the person of the Honorable Judge David Hamilton, who is one of Akron's finest. Good evening, Judge Hamilton. How are you, sir? Okay.
Okay.
Like,
can you hear me?
Yeah, I think I got you now.
Okay. Good evening. Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I think you're still muted.
Still? From this phone here. Oh. Can you hear me now?
There we go. I think they're correcting the microphone on his end. We'll get it together. Let's see here. Well, while Judge Hamilton gets his microphone together, I just want to actually give you, for the benefit of those of you who may not be familiar with Judge Hamilton, just giving you a little background on Judge Hamilton's career. First of all, he's a native of the city of Akron, born and raised here in Akron. He's a graduate of the Cauga Valley Christian Academy, better known as CVCA here locally, and received his Bachelor's of Arts in Sociology, as well as a minor in Criminal Justice from the University of Akron. Upon graduation, he matriculated to the Western Michigan, and he earned his Juris Doctorate from the Thomas M. Cooley School of Law. So that's why we're so proud of Judge Hamilton. He is an accomplished jurist, and he is back. Can you hear me now, Judge Hamilton?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, yes, I can hear you. You're kind of broken up, but I'm sure it's going to be cool.
I don't know what's going on.
So
I try to use my computer,
okay.
but yeah.
Yes. How are you this evening, Judge Hamilton?
I'm doing great. I'm trying to figure this thing out.
Yeah. Actually, what I was doing is I was actually just giving a short bio, giving the audience some background on, your education and things of the like. And I stopped just short of just letting them know that of your extensive experience here in the local area. Prior to becoming a judge, you were a prosecutor and a judicial attorney within the Akron Municipal Court, and served, as we all know, in District 5 with the Summit County as a Summit County councilman. So you're you're no newcomer to this at all, and of course, I'm proud of it because I've seen it happening for a long time, and just want to let you know that we're proud. But we're actually brought you here this evening because this is National Mentoring Month, and we know that you actually have some great things that you've actually been involved in, and we wanted to actually talk to you about that, and just to try to get the information out and share this with the community. So if you don't mind, would you mind sharing with our audience what you have going on within the confines of your mentoring program?
Okay, sure. First, can you all hear me? Can you see me okay?
Yes, I can hear you and see you well. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure because. Okay. What about now?
I can still see you. The angle was better before.
Okay, let me try it. I was trying to do it from my computer, but it's not working.
Sure.
Right. So, I'm sorry. It's technology. It's not.
Sure.
Yeah. But anyway, but thanks for having me.
Sure.
And also thanks for to Kemp Boyd, Coach Boyd, and President Irby for allowing me to be here today, and also you, Mr. Lash. We've been around for a while, and you were very helpful on my campaign, and we met each other on the campaign trail. So it's awesome to see the good things that you're doing in our community, what you're doing now with the city. You're doing some amazing things. So I'm just honored to be here.
Thank you, brother.
To be a part of this. So thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
So what I will say, I started Compass about almost it's been a year in the making. So I got elected in 2019, the bottom of 2019, and started working with Compass even before then, because what I wanted to do was when I ran for judge, one of the main reasons why I wanted to run was to really help the community. And what I saw was I'm real big on criminal justice reform.
Sure. And
I understand that the way you really do criminal justice reform is by giving people opportunities so that you don't run the risk of reoffending. So sure. I'm all about really giving people opportunities, young men especially, opportunities after they finish their probation or parole or prison or whatever, so that they can live a better life and take care of their families. And so one of the biggest parts of Compass is the mentoring part, which is the where we have our President Irby. He knows about this. He's a part of Compass with the 100 Black Men. And what makes Compass unique and different from other court programs, this is the first program in the state that's like it. This is first of its kind in the state of Ohio. And what makes it different is the
Okay, it looks like Judge Hamilton froze up. Hopefully he'll be back. And he was sharing with us about his program, Compass, the Compass program. So hopefully he'll be joining us here momentarily as he was giving us an explanation and a background on his wonderful program. So hopefully he will be back right away. So I'm hoping that he will be back. In the meantime, we actually have a guest that we're going to actually showcase toward the latter part of our show, or the latter part of the program, Bishop Johnson, and he's going to talk about some great things that he's involved with here in the city of Akron as well. And while we're waiting for Judge Hamilton to come back, I want to encourage you all to share this. If you actually have social media, if you're attached to any organizations or you have your own personal social media, please feel free to share this with your social media network. We're trying to get the word out about what we're doing. These conversations that we're having, we feel that they're very important and informative within our community. And we feel that these conversations will be very beneficial to young people, whatever age. We feel that they will be very informative, and we feel that we want to spread the word and we want to share this information as best we can. So as we're waiting for Judge Hamilton to come back, we just want to encourage you all to check out Love Akron. They have a website that you can actually go to, and they actually have some awesome programming that they throw throughout the month. Coach Boyd and his staff, they actually throw some great programming that is very inspiring and uplifting to and throughout the Akron community. And that, again, is with Love Akron. And I would encourage you to go to their website to check out what they have going on. They have a ton of guests, many community activists and advocates that come and share in very inspirational topics that are very informative throughout the community. So we're actually encouraging, and hopefully we'll have Judge Hamilton back here shortly. But again, we want to actually encourage you, and also we want to encourage you to go and check out the website for 100 Black Men. 100 Black Men, again, is a mentoring program that we actually have here within the city of Akron, that our main primary goal and focus is on empowering and inspiring young men. And that is led by our coach, Mike Irby, and he has been doing that within this community for quite a bit of time, several years. So if Coach Irby is still here, he can actually come back in and we can talk about the 100. Good evening, Coach. How you doing? I think you might be on mute. Are you on mute?
Yes, Brother Last. What I'm going to do, I can share a little bit about the 100 Black Men when it comes to mentoring. We have the 100 Black Men of Akron. We have a leadership academy, and we mentor kids from the age, 5th grade through 12th grade, and we work with these young men basically on a Saturday. It's a 3-hour session from 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock on Saturdays. And then also during the week, we go into the schools and do a little session with the young men, once again, about, how to be a leader, how to respond to authority figures. We engage into field trips with our older kids. We do a lot with college, getting prepared for college. We're going to start a new program here in the new year for our older kids. It's more of college preparatory academy that we're going to work with the youth on.
Okay. Thank you, Coach. I've got notification that Judge Hamilton is back, so we want to actually bring him in if that's okay, and continue our conversation. Judge Hamilton, great to see you again.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear
Okay,
you a little
great.
bit. You're still there. All is well. Everything good on your end?
Yeah, it's just my phone froze, so I
It's
don't know
okay. It's
what's
okay.
going on, but
I
I'm
know when we
back.
left
I'm
off,
back.
we were when we left off, we were talking about Compass, and I want to actually give you the time to go back and just kind of share what's going on with Compass with our greater community.
Sure, thank you. So with Compass right now, one of the things that I want to talk about is the mentoring piece. Compass is the first of its kind in the state of Ohio, and what that means is the reason why it's the first of its kind is because um, with other programs, after completion of probation or completion of the program, the core sponsored program, what happens is a lot of the young men or whoever ladies, when they finish the program, they leave, and you hope that they will go on and lead better lives. But with Compass, uh, we want to make sure that we keep these young men plugged in even after completion of the program, and that's where the mentoring part comes in. So as soon as you get into the program, you're already going to be paired with a mentor, and that mentor will follow you throughout the life of the program, and even once you complete, even after completion. Because what we found is with a lot of the young men in our community, they don't have any positive role models. So even if they do all of this work. They do, they do probation, they finish it, and they complete it. They still go back to the communities where they're from, and they hang out with the same friends they had before.
Sure.
So what we want to do is provide that safe space for them to talk, to communicate, and to have someone positive in their life, so that even throughout their life they can always come back to Compass. Compass is a way to help people, move forward, help young men find their way, but also if they do get lost, they can always find their way back. And
Sure.
Compass stands for compassion, opportunity, mentoring, purpose, assistance, survival, and stepping forward.
That's great, Judge Hamilton. And if I could, what actually gave you, or shall I say, what inspired you to come up with this particular program? And what actually, I mean, did this derive from somewhere in your childhood? I mean, where did this come from?
I will say that, Black. So initially, this program, what came out of it was I started the Summit County Jail Advisory Commission when I was a Summit County councilman, and that happened after the death of a young man who died at the jail, and we did a lot of research, and what I found was that Black men, we know all over our country, Black men are overrepresented in the jail and prison and criminal justice system
Sure.
in comparison to their population. But in Summit County, Black males only make up 7% of the general population in Summit County. Just 7%, but they make up over 40% of the population in the Summit County jail. And
Right.
an even greater percentage just in the criminal justice system in general. So you got 7% population, but 40% in the Summit County jail right now. And with that, we so that's where Compass really started. Now, Compass is for every man. It's for men from the ages of 18 to 26. But we can't ignore the realities that Black men face in our criminal justice system and in our society, and the barriers that they face. So
Sure.
Compass was really, it started, it was birthed out of that, because
Okay.
what I wanted to do was, we have all these Black men in the criminal justice system. How do we stop them from going that revolving door, going back in and out of the criminal justice system day in and day out? So
Sure.
I started Compass to give these young men opportunities for job creation, for job growth, job coaching, mentoring, dealing with trauma therapy, counseling. So we have pretty much, it's a holistic approach for young men to really help them to develop themselves and to live positive lives.
That's great, Judge Hamilton. And I actually, when you were talking, I was just wondering, how has the programming gone? I mean, what are you seeing? Or do you guys have any success rates that you're able to report out as of now, or are you waiting
Well,
for additional programming?
Well, the thing is, so with COVID, so we actually just started Compass officially in December. And so we have 4 young men in the program, and one of the young men has already he's working on getting his license. So I'll give you one story. Young man, he got into the program and he was trying to find a job. And one of the things he needed to do was get his license. So we helped him up. We got pretty much all his fines paid down, and he's working on getting his driving test. And I think I'm going to meet with him next week, so he may already have it. So that's just one small example of really Compass really helping these young men. We have others who are just kind of getting into the program. So it's a pilot program, so it's still too early to tell, only because we just started, and because of due to coronavirus, we're not actually seeing the young men in person, and I'm not seeing them often. So, but that is one small story of we are helping them where we are right now. So at the entrance level of Compass, we have 4 young men that are in the program, and two just joined, but the 2 that we're working with now, they are actually starting the counseling and the therapy, and they're working on getting their license.
That's wonderful, Judge. Actually, just to see that you're taking the effort, having the initiative and the effort to invest back into the lives of these young Black men, that's monumental. I mean, I can't say how appreciative that I am personally, and I'm sure others are throughout the community. What can we do to help you or to assist, seeing as though there may be some in the community that have never heard of your program? What can we do to assist you in this effort?
I would say just spread the word. I mean, that's the word of mouth is the best way. It's just spreading the word about this great program. We've gotten a lot of media attention about it, but I think just spreading the word, because what we're doing now, the program is getting so big. And again, we just started it December. We're actually getting people who are saying, Judge Hamilton, I'm not in your court, but I want to be a part of Compass. I want to learn a job. I want to learn a trade. And so what we're actually doing now is starting a track 2 for those who are in different courts, who may want to come over to Compass and join Compass, and so we can kind of fast track them through the program to help them get jobs and job creation. So I would just say, just word of mouth, spreading the word. Anytime we're in the newspaper or in the media, we have more people coming and saying, I want to be a part of it. So I would just say that, really just spreading the word, and that's the biggest thing.
Sure. And I mean, as you probably know, I'm sure you've heard throughout the community and meeting and talking to people have probably, I'm pretty confident people, especially young Black men, have come up and shared with you how much of an inspiration you have been to them in what you have done with your career and with your life. Is there any particular advice that you could share with our audience and with young people in general, specifically young Black men, that would actually inspire them to get on the right track, aspire to be a better person? Is there anything you could share with them in closing?
I would say keep the Lord first, because I think, God has really given me a lot of grace and a lot of favor to even be elected and to represent the people. I mean, it's an honor for me to even be in this position, to even be able to make a difference and make a change. So I would say that. But number 2, I would say set goals. I would say set goals and ask yourself every day, is what I'm doing today getting me farther away from my goal or closer to it?
Sure.
And what I mean by set goals, actually really write them down, make them tangible. Because sometimes we say things, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But when you write it down, it makes it real.
Absolutely.
And when you write it down, you look at it every morning. When I was in law school, I had a 5-year plan, and I would look at it every morning before I went to school. And I wrote everything out on a tablet and looked at everything every day. And I asked myself, is what I'm doing today going to get me further away from my goal or closer to it? So I would say those are the 2 number 1 things. And number 3, you always have to have faith in yourself, bet on yourself, really take the risk, take time to really, last, I gave up my job to run for county council.
Sure.
Because I really believed in myself that much, and I believed what I could do for the community.
Sure.
And then had to do it again to run for judge. So I would say really it starts with you. You have to believe in yourself, and you have to want it, and you have to want it more than anybody else does. And if you do that, and you have faith in God and you set goals, you can do whatever you want to do, because determination is really the key.
Absolutely. And just since I do have you here, just one last question. There's a lot of people in our community that They want to help. They see the problem that we have in our community. They drive up and down our streets and throughout our neighborhoods, and they see the issues that we're facing. They see the dire situations that exist in our communities. What what kind of advice would you give to those men or women, or even small organizations that could assist them in helping this demographic that we're talking about, whether it be young Black men, young Black women? What advice would you actually share with them to assist in this effort?
That's a good question. I would say one thing that I've noticed in our community is that we have different silos of pockets of people, and then they're doing pretty much the same thing. I would say at some point we've got to come together as a community. I mean, and really, because I think you can do a lot more when we're all together and unified. And I think even yesterday just really showed it empowered everybody. But we've got to start at the local community. I mean, in our locality, of like really getting together with with others that are like-minded and starting a coalition together within our community. Really getting the
Absolutely.
block watches started again. Really making those strong, strengthen our communities at the core. Because again, what I see is you got different people, different organizations, pretty much doing the same stuff.
Sure.
So, I mean, let's just come together because there's strength in numbers. So
Absolutely.
that's the number one thing that I would say. And just really get involved in your community, whatever you
Sure.
do, whether it's volunteering at a library or at a food bank, just really getting involved.
Sure. Judge Hamilton, I can't say enough how proud we are
Thank you,
of
sir.
what you're
Thank you.
doing, and whatever support that myself personally or we as a community can do to assist in your efforts, please don't hesitate to let us know. And thank
Absolutely.
you for
Thank
joining
you.
us here with Love Akron and 100 Black Men. The few minutes that you shared, we really appreciate it. We hope that you have an awesome year and that Compass is going to grow exponentially.
Absolutely. And next time we have this, make sure you have me in person because I'm a lot better in person.
Hey man,
I'm having too many technical.
Hey man, you were great
technical
tonight,
issues,
man.
man. I'm a lot better in person. I promise. Give me one more
Hey, man.
chance next year to make
Hey,
it.
that's
up
not a
to
problem, man. You know you have an open seat with me, man. So hey, thanks again, man. Take care of yourself, and we really appreciate Judge Hamilton, his time and his expertise, and his sharing his love for the community. The next guest that we actually have this evening, and we're so excited to have somebody who's very important here within the greater Akron community, and I would actually say throughout the state of Ohio and America at large. And that would be in the person of Bishop F. Joey Johnson, who is the senior pastor of the House of the Lord here locally. And again, before we actually bring him in, and he's already come on in, we want to encourage you to share this program on your social media, get the word out, because we think this is very informative and educational and empowering information that we're sharing tonight. Good evening, Bishop Johnson. How are you, brother?
I'm great. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, man. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. I know a lot of us haven't been around the city and since we've been dealing with the pandemic and COVID and everything like that. So it's great to see you here on this medium. And just wanted to bring you on tonight. I know that recently, back in June, the city of Akron declared that racism was a public health crisis, and out of that was birthed the Racial Equity and Social Justice Task Force, which you were actually tapped to lead. And so we want to actually just talk about that, if you will, and what better person or who better to bring on other than you to share what's going on within that task force. So without further ado, if you don't mind sharing kind of like the background of the task force and what you all have going on currently.
Sure, Brother Lash. First of all, let me say I'm sorry for the way I dress. I'm looking at you, and you look great. And
hey, you deserve to relax sometime.
So I ain't looking my best, but
hey,
next
man,
to
you're
you,
good.
I look even worse.
You're good, man.
Back in October, the mayor came to me and said they would like to do something in order to create some racial equity and social justice. And so they began to deal with this racial equity, social justice task force for the city of Akron, and asked would I participate. And I was more than glad to be able to participate, because what we need right now is institutional, structural changes to take place in the city of Akron. Of course, nationwide, but in the city of Akron, we want to make sure that we are setting out some structural changes that are going to be able to, we'll be working on for a long time. So what ended up happening with the charter, city council voted it, became part of the charter. We have a 1-year mandate to deal with, make recommendations to the city, and then a 5-year referendum that we're going to be coming back and reviewing those things for the city. So there's 6 subcommittees. The subcommittee are now you asking a 68-year-old man, almost 69, to do this off the top of my head. But here
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Criminal justice, education, housing, communications, health, and there's another one. But those 6 those subcommittees are going to be making recommendations in each of those particular areas. And so we're underway. We have begun to do information gathering and starting to try to see what recommendations we want to narrow down and move towards. It's very exciting, I think, what we have the opportunity to do. Not without its problems, not without the naysayers, because that goes along with anything when you're doing something. But I'm a positive person. I'm going after it.
Absolutely. So far, you hear different whispers about some of the work that you all are doing, and all the work that you all are doing is great because of all the things that have taken place in our nation, especially over throughout 2020. And thank God we crossed the threshold into 21. But even in 21, so much has happened already that shows exactly why we need this task force. Can you share with us, what kind of vision? Your leadership is known throughout the city of Akron, throughout the state of Ohio, throughout the country. What vision do you actually have for this task force once the work has commenced and you guys are currently working? But what would you like this to bring to the city of Akron at large?
Well, there's a couple things that we're going to try to do, and I'm a very interactive guest, so let me just say you do an excellent job at what you're doing, asking questions, interacting. I mean, you do a great job. I want to affirm that. Our goal is to create in each one of these areas something that we can have a landmark to work towards. The 1964 Civil Rights Act, 1965 Voting Act, we are still working on that. That here we are 50, 60 years later, and we don't have the things that was legislated. So here we are. If we can at least create some legislation that will become benchmarks to be able to work off of, because I think that the going out and protesting, that was necessary. It gained attention. It brought attention to the problem, but it doesn't solve the problem. It just brings light to the problem. Now, what are we going to do about these problems? We've protested, we've lobbied, but we need structural change. We need legal change so that we may be able to bring about practical change. So if we can, at the end of December 2021, if we can have at least one major suggestion for the city in each one of those areas, then we'll begin to try to move forward and help the city and hold the city accountable for each of these. My trust, I consider this a trust, and my trust is to the city of Akron. I thank the mayor. I appreciate the mayor's instigating or starting or facilitating this. I mean, I think it's wonderful that he would do that. He didn't have to do that. But the trust ultimately is not to the mayor. My trust is to the city of Akron and to the people of Akron, that we leave a legacy so that we move towards racial equity and justice.
Absolutely. That's wonderful, Bishop. And actually, while you were talking, as you know, having worked a large part of your life within the realms of religion, you have your doubters who actually say, that's not going to work. They just spinning their wheels. What would you say to those individuals who they hear of the work that you're doing and they know that the mayor has brought this group together, but they don't really feel that anything is going to come of it? What would you be willing to share with those individuals who may be doubting in this moment after everything has gone on even before George Floyd. But
Yep.
since then, what would you share with them?
Brother Lash, first of all, I would say that the people who have those doubts, those are legitimate doubts. I mean, when you're a part of the African American community and you've been let down repeatedly, then after a while you become suspicious. And African Americans are a culture of suspicion, just by nature, because I mean
Yes.
you've been let down over and over again. Secondarily, we can sit around and naysay and talk about what's going on, or we can put our hand to the plow and see what we can get. I personally would rather work and see what we could get and work towards that. Now, if the city somehow doesn't follow through, that's not my problem. I'm gonna make
Yes.
sure they have everything they need
Yes.
in order to be able to do what needs to be done, and then we'll attempt to have some accountability. One of the groups that I created, that nationwide, I have not seen anybody doing this, is a group on communication. What we want to do is communicate in real time to the community what we're doing, so that you have not only the group holding the city accountable, but the entire community following along in real time. This is what's going on. This is what we're doing. Here where we're trying to go. Here are the things. Here what we're pointing at. We won't come there and just drop it, but we will have a base for accountability that I think is going to be long-term accountability.
Absolutely. And because you are a leader, you're a known leader, and the metrics of your leadership, are seen throughout this community. What could you share with those who may be just sitting on the sidelines and they're not engaged in anything, but there's something inside of them, because of things they've seen on TV. And I think it's safe to say now we just went through 4 years of not knowing what you're going to see on a daily basis.
Right.
So there are people who've been sitting on the sidelines looking to do something, but they just don't know what to do. They don't know where to go. They don't know where to plug in, but they want to do something that's constructive and beneficial to the community. Can you share anything with those individuals who may be on the fence?
Absolutely. One of the things that we want to do is you cannot solve a problem without dealing with the people at which the level at which the problem occurred. And many times in these efforts, the reason that people don't trust them is because people above are trying to solve a problem at a different level. What we want to do is bring people in at the grassroots level in each of these areas and have interaction with them so that they can participate in the solution. So if you heard any one of those groups, let me try again: criminal justice, housing, health, education, communication. You heard anything that says, "Oh, that rings a bell for me," you want to contact us. You can email me or call or deal with the city. But we need you to come in and to participate and to testify and to tell us what the issues are, so that we can be able to work on them. We cannot work on these issues without people at the grassroots. So I'm really big on that. I want to make sure that people are involved in that. I look at myself more as a steward, a trustee, trying to facilitate the process. I don't have the answers. I'm just trying to bring all the people together so we can get the answer.
Absolutely. And Bishop, you actually shared earlier in our conversation, you shared your age, and you don't look that age. So I commend you for whatever you're
Thank
doing,
you, sir.
taking care of yourself. But some
But
people,
I'm gonna pay you later for that, man.
Some people in our society feel that once you get a certain age, it's time for you to slow down. It's time for you to go retire, and disappear, or do whatever you want to do at this point in your life. But you're still in the vineyard. You're still pushing. You're still pushing and leading the charge. What is it that's motivating you, and what is it that is inspiring you to still remain on the front lines?
See, I told you ask excellent questions. You tell them to pay you a little bit more money.
I'll let them know. But what is it that's actually keeping you out there and that fire burning in your heart?
I believe in lifelong learning. Lifelong learning means I'm not learning to get a degree. I'm not learning to just achieve something. I'm learning because life consists of the ability to continually move forward in what you are doing and in learning and moving towards God, or moving towards excellence, or moving towards whatever we're moving towards. Lifelong learning is incredibly important. All leaders are readers. All readers may not be leaders, but all leaders have to be readers. We have to be learning. We have to be growing. And I've been doing some teaching on it because it requires a certain amount of humility to be able to be open to learn after a certain particular period of time. Because after you get to a certain age, you think like you know it all. I know that, I've been through this.
Sure.
But there's always something else to learn. And Brother Lash, I'll read about 50 to 100 books a year.
Wow.
Because I want to constantly be on the cutting edge, moving forward, growing, and helping as many people as I can. So I am a community intellect, and not a organization, not the stuff at the college, not the stuff at the university. Nothing wrong with that.
Sure.
But
Sure.
I'm not dealing with that. I learn. And my intellect and my growth is for the community. It's to help people,
Yes.
not to sit around and help myself.
Absolutely. In fact, we all learned, well, at least I learned that, as you exercise the body, particular muscles in the body, you must also exercise your brain. And I think you're speaking to that now when you're talking about reading and staying on top of your game. As we close and come to a close, Bishop, what parting words would you actually have to those just throughout the community who have come out of us? We just crossed the threshold yesterday. We had 4 years of one thing. We've come into it's yet to be seen what's going to happen over the next 4 years. But those who may be discouraged, doubting, hurt, depressed, is there anything that you can share, just uplifting, as relates to the work that you guys are doing here? But what would you actually just share as we part?
I would share two things. One thing I would share is that the African American community has a resilience built into it that goes all the way back to Africa. If we can learn to lament and grieve and then move forward, we can recognize that we live in unprecedented times and we have an unprecedented opportunity. The things that took place at the Capitol were horrible, but guess what? They revealed the fact that America is a racist nation. So we can stop arguing about that. We can start working on the solutions.
Absolutely.
How do we move forward? What can
Absolutely.
we do about those kinds of things? So I always try to look at the positive side of those problems because they create opportunities for us to do something that perhaps has not been done before.
Absolutely. Bishop Johnson, I would like to say that publicly, you've been an inspiration to me, myself personally, and to many throughout the city and state and nation. And I want to thank you for your time. I'm hoping that we can do this once again. And I pray Godspeed for you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate the work you're doing. And I followed you from afar. You didn't know it because you play the organ so good and I ain't no good. So I've tried.
Hey, man, that coming from a legend, I take that. I know you can still do it. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. Absolutely. Thank you. Well, thank you again for joining us this evening. You heard from two dynamic leaders here within our community, and we're just so grateful for them to spend some of their time imparting what they have going on within the community with us. And now we actually want to bring back both Coach Boyd and Coach Kemp. And gentlemen, I just want to thank you for the opportunity to in this conversation and dialogue this evening. And I'm hoping that we can continue this because I believe the more we do this, the community benefits, and we're uplifting the city of Akron and the greater Akron community. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Brother Lash, man. Just before you go off, thank you so much and I think Bishop Johnson said it, thank you for your resiliency. I know there was some technical things going on, man, but I just love, man, how you transitioned, how you kept us moving in the right direction, man. And thank you for the time that it took you to prepare to talk to our guests tonight. So, Brother Lash, thank you so much for your commitment in this process of bringing about a sense of awareness, but also of hope to Greater Akron and beyond. So thank you so much, brother, for being with us on this night and leading us through these very important and also challenging conversations.
Thank you both. I appreciate it. It's my honor.
Thank you.
And so, hey, this was just our first installment of a first episode of what we are calling Connection versus Collision. Where do we go from here? And the reason why we thought that it would be important for us to partner is just what you heard throughout the two conversations, whether it was with Judge Hamilton or either Bishop Johnson. They both said a common theme throughout the course of their talk, which they said, man, we're all better when we work together. And so there was no need for us to say, okay, you guys do your episode over here, we're going to do ours here, and none can combine with each other. No, we really believe in collective impact, because the more that we stay together, the more that we really begin to partner and merge ourselves together and get immersed, if you will, into one another's visions and missions that we have going on. We want the ripple effects to be spread across Greater Akron. And so allow us to be an example of what partnership looks like, what it looks like to truly set aside, if you will, trying to be the name on the marquee, because that is not our goal. Our goal is to really be able to work with one another and to work together to see Greater Akron thrive. And because that's the only way it's going to be done. And so you're looking at and talking to two coaches that have been coaching for over 20 years. So we know the importance of team. We know the importance of what it means to come together. And so we've been saying this, man, but please like us on Facebook, Both Love Akron, 100 Black Men. Please subscribe to our YouTube page and our YouTube channel. And just let us know, if you're on right now, let us know, hey, where are you watching from? Where are you watching from? Because we want to make sure that we spread ourselves out across Greater Akron so that we can know the impact that is truly going out, truly being made. Coach Irby, listen, man, thank you so much for trusting us with, man, the mission and the vision of 100 Black Men of Akron. Thank you so much for agreeing into this partnership with us. And, man, I just look forward to many more episodes that we can do together to help raise the level of awareness, but also engagement, man. So thank you so much, Coach Irby, man. Any parting words from you tonight?
Well, we thank you, the 100 Black Men. Thank you. We're just, we're proud and we're happy to be a part of this partnership, because we know that, Judge Hamilton hit it right on the nose. We all need to come together. More of us working together, we can accomplish a lot more bigger things.
Awesome. And let me just give a shout out, because I'm looking at the time, it's 7:21. I want to just shout out because I know my kids are watching. Make sure you got all your homework done, please, because bedtime is quickly approaching. So to Virginia, to Asa Ashland, Major, Umari Matthias, I love you. Thank you so much for your support of your father and being on the watch. And you heard some really great discussion this morning, this evening. So please, thank you so much. I just had to give a shout out to them because I know that they were watching. And get your homework done and get ready for bed. As we always do at this time, Coach Irby, you got to come back, because every time we end something, we always end it a certain way. And I think you know this. And if you don't know, you're going to have some up downs for me. Okay? So everybody that's out there right now, you can put it in the chat bar. But we always say this: if you don't do anything else, make sure that you love Akron. Have a good night. Thank you so much for being with us.
Much greater need in Akron that I can't see.
I could have eventually, stood up and postured myself in a very prideful way. You kind of lose focus. Sometimes you have to step outside of yourself. And how can we go refocus our attention on how we can serve others in this time?
And so I've just been praying, Lord, how do we see the people that really need the most help? The people that need groceries, the people that need encouragement. And so I thought of Kent.
If there's a way for us to engage or to be involved, man, we want to do that. And I think that we've been transparent in some of the different events and activities that we've done, not only from the platform of Love Akron, but what we've been able to do now in partnership with other organizations.
Don't do anything or spare. Just make sure that you love Akron. Whatever you do today, wherever you go today, just make sure that you love Akron.
And early on, one of the things I said to Coach Kemp was, I'm an employee of Love Akron. We're going to do this black and white conversation. Conversation versus collision. I said, Coach, if we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna get to that point where we're just rocking and singing Kumbaya, I was like, then can I respectfully ask that you count me out? Because one, if this is not a forever challenge or a sign, this is not something that we're gonna do forever, I just don't want to do it. I want to do something that's going to truly make impact. So I think it's important for us to make note of the fact that this is a commitment from Love Akron forever. Thank you.